Hello beautiful women, it's Bella, and in today's video I want to delve into what it means to be a woman and why that matters for our health and vitality, for our ability to experience pleasure, and for attracting everything that you have desired in your life. Throughout patriarchy, for millennia, centuries, we have been denied of our feminine power. And actually, all of the characteristics associated with being a woman have become associated with weakness, with being secondary and not having power. And all the qualities that are associated with being a male have become the desirable ones, like the leadership and being the go-getter and getting things done and, not sleeping through the night to get things accomplished. Well, those qualities are very important if they're not balanced with the feminine qualities of rest, of being taken care of being sensual, of activating your magnetic energy, your magnetism, of experiencing flow and sensuality in your life, then simply we lose what really gives us power. It's like this little box, where we have put all of those qualities that we were burnt for as witches, that we, the stories of all the goddesses that were these powerful, sexual, sensual women have been ripped up and other stories were written. So it's no wonder that all of what it means to be a woman has been buried into these black boxes, and we carry them deep inside us, still feeling guilty for them. Even in our day and age, we have societies where being a woman is dangerous, where you have to cover your looks because the way you look, the way you flirt, the way you do certain things can really make men lose their mind. When we live with those constant reminders that being a woman is dangerous, being a woman is shameful, being a woman is this and that, then eventually we bury that deep inside of us, even in societies where we have complete liberation and equal rights and all of that. When we're not allowing ourselves to be who our essence is supposed to be, then we will always feel like imposters at our work because we're using leadership abilities that are masculine. We will always feel unloved and unappreciated in our relationships because we're not allowing ourselves to be women that need to be taken care of and adored, and we can't attract the right men if we're not being the women that we are. So there are all these different aspects of our life that are directly affected by the fact that we are not allowing ourselves to be the sensual, the sexual, the attractive, the beautiful, the messy, the chaotic women that we were born to be. Our essence is the water. The men are fire in Chinese medicine. Men are associated to the fire energy and we are associated to the water. So it's all about the flow. We have to allow this flow into our life in order to activate the mechanism that makes us a woman. That's the only way you will activate your magnetism to attract everything that you desire into your life. I was once at a dinner with a group of friends that are high-level executives, have accomplished so many incredible things in their life. Like, I bow down to these women. And yet we were talking and everyone was like trying to almost compete with each other. Who has accomplished more and who has slept less nights to accomplish this project, and who was, traveling most. And it's all incredible, but by the end of the night the conversation started about how everyone is having a difficulty in conceiving. And guess what? There's a direct link between how much you don't allow yourself to rest, to sleep, to be taken care of, to arouse yourself, to experience pleasure, because guess what? It only happens in that space where you are allowing yourself time and pleasure and sensuality to experience pleasure, to attract the right partners, to be taken care of, to conceive if that's what you're desiring. And unfortunately, we don't see that parallel anymore as women. We're so stuck in that executive mindset of, we have almost like switched roles. I know a lot of women that have kind of switched roles with men. You know, they're the doers in the family, right? And so unfortunately, until we learn to allow ourselves to be who we are, we will not accomplish those things that we always strive for, and we will not be happy despite accomplishing a lot of things that we think that we desire. And so there are many steps. A lot of the steps we have to go back. We have to go back to uncover what are those things that we still feel ashamed of. I discovered that I'm ashamed of my own sensuality, for example. You know, it was always associated with, oh, you know, you're being too flirtatious, and you might, you know, you might give him some ideas, or in the workspace, my femininity and my, for example, flirtatiousness was not seen as something professional, right? And so all of those things, they, you know, indirect messages that we receive from other people, we eventually start diminishing what we are all about, and that suppresses our energy, right? So if you're like, this part of me that I feel I'm not expressing it, then I'm suppressing it, right? And then eventually all of our energies get suppressed. Whereas for men, it's the opposite, right? So because their masculine qualities are the ones that are sought out, they are allowed to be themselves all the time. And so it's much easier for them to accomplish everything they want to, because they're allowing themselves to be themselves. And so, again, the first step is to go back and to uncover what you still feel guilty about, what you still don't recognize as your feminine power, and slowly start bringing little doses of those powers back into your life. It's also in your body, allowing yourselves to experience the pleasure of being a woman, which means a lot of flowy movements. So, you know, for example, I've started doing the sensual bachata classes, which are very much about this flow that our body is designed to, you know, the movement that is natural for us is what will give us a lot of energy, right? And so, for example, belly dancing was a type of dance that's very feminine, right? Even some of the inappropriate type of dancing, right? Like the baile funkies in Brazil and the reggaeton, like all of those, they activate our hips, and that flow of the hips is a very feminine movement that activates, on a physical level, it activates our kundalini, our energy that's located in the first and second chakra. And that's where the flow of energy starts. And according to the Chinese medicine, if that flow is stagnated anywhere, then there's no health, there's no vitality, there's no pleasure, there's no conceiving, there's none of that, right? And so see how simple movement, for example, that's associated to you being a woman can actually activate your vitality, your health, your energy. Sexuality plays an extremely important role in that as well. You know, we put sexuality into these different boxes, and, you know, the taboo box or the, you know, public health box, but in reality, it's one of the main pillars of our health and well-being. So reactivating your sexual energy is extremely important for health and vitality as well. In relational aspects, allowing yourself to be the woman, to being taken care of, to allowing yourself the luxury of not doing anything, just being playful, like all of those characteristics are of the feminine characteristics, that playfulness, that rest, that taking care of, are all extremely important and very difficult for a lot of us to accept. I'm the first one who will say that. I've been working on it for years and it's still very difficult to receive, right? It doesn't make you less of a woman if you allow yourself to be taken care of and receive. On the contrary. But we've been taught the opposite, right? That if we receive something, then we owe something to someone, right? That's not the energy I'm talking about. It's the energy of receiving for who you are. And finally, just this identity issue, right? Of really reading the stories of who were these goddesses that were sexual, sensual, powerful, like Isis and Inanna, and who was the real Mary Magdalene, and what Virgin Mary really means. The word virgin does not mean celibate, right? So all of those things, you know, it's like reclaiming our history as women is really important. And then when you absorb all of that into your day-to-day, when you absorb all of that into your new mindset, you will see your whole life transform, because you will simply, by being yourself, attract everything that you desire into your life, from health and vitality to the men in your life that you're desiring, to the job and the purpose that you're searching, to children and forming a family, or if you want to be single and enjoy your single life, whatever it is that you're seeking is so much easier to accomplish if you are aligned with this feminine essence. And if you need help in reactivating it and rethinking what it means to be a woman, I'm here to support you. Lots of love to you. See you soon.